Good afternoon, everybody. It is 2:30 on an FOMC day. The Federal Reserve announced about a half hour ago that they were lowering interest rates by a quarter point. We knew that was going to happen. The market knew that was going to happen. And the reason we know that is because nothing's happened, really, in the last 31 minutes. Total snooze fest. But Jerome Powell is about to speak. Press conference. We know that can sometimes cause movement. So we figured, let's get on live, talk about it, see what happens, if anything comes up during the presser or not, or if we get some action and what it means. So JC, Steve, myself, we'll have Patrick and Awilla join us as well for a few. And we'll just kind of hang out for a few minutes, 20 minutes or so, whatever, and see what happens out there. So, so far, guys, as I said, nothing has happened. The market did not react at all.
Spencer, how did you look at all the charts? How do you know
All
that?
right. I didn't look at all the charts. Fine.
Throw up. Can we throw up chart 2?
I'm gonna go then. I was gonna tell you guys about some stuff that happened, but if nothing happened,
all right. I didn't look at all the charts. My mistake.
All right. Nerd alert. Can I show a chart and then you tell me why this matters?
Can we talk? Yeah. And then I would just like to give some color on what just happened.
One chart and then you give the color. Deal?
Wait.
Right.
What
slide
chart?
2, Spencer.
Slide 2?
Yeah, on the morning show deck.
Oh, you surprised me with that one.
All right, you ready? Here's a good one. It's an old goodie. You got to be a real nerd to look at this one. Any guesses?
Yeah, I'm bringing it up.
This is hardcore nerd shit right here. Only the OGs know this one.
Are you looking at tips?
Here we go. Throw it up, Spencer. Give the people what they want. They don't know they want it, but they want it. Oh,
good. It's really good. It's classic. Oldie but goodie.
Classic. Yeah. Kind of set the stage for what Strazza's about to throw out there. You see how I got the Doge hat? Don't think I forgot. You guys think that I'm just a TradFi bro. You know, I diversify my assets. You know what I'm saying? Value line index. This is the median stock, folks. So it's not like there's only 7, or these aren't like only the penny stocks or the Cathie Wood stocks. No. This is the median stock, the value line geometric index, making new multi-year highs just yesterday.
No, it's good. And it's a great representation of what most stocks in the market look like, or what most stocks are doing. And now I think you can finally say, like I would say Russell 2000, same kind of thing, right? It just gives you a really broad view of the entire stock market. And I think we can finally say that most stocks are now in a bull market. Most stocks are in a new uptrend. Path of least resistance is higher for most publicly traded equities. I think up until now, we can only say that about the biggest ones.
Throw up the next 2 charts just because you brought it up. So here we're looking at the new 20-day highs, very much pronounced in the small caps. So we're looking at new 20-day highs, which is basically 1 month. Spencer, you want to throw that up?
Yeah, I got you.
So this is essentially 1 month, 20 days. We're looking at large caps in the S&P 500 up in black, mid caps in the S&P 400 in blue, and then in red, the old small caps in the S&P 600. The most amount of new 1 month highs yesterday came out of the small caps. And then the last chart, and I'll let you take it over there, Strazza, is the New York Stock Exchange. This is the world's most important stock exchange. No arguments, right? We can argue certain indexes might be better than others, but facts only. The most important stock exchange is the one in New York on the corner of Wall and Broad. The stocks that therefore trade on that exchange, one can argue, is the most important universe of stocks. So when we go into that exchange and we count how many stocks made new 52-week highs yesterday, as it turns out, it was the most amount that we have seen in years since spring of 2021.
Yeah.
So this is called breadth expansion. It is the opposite of breadth deterioration.
Yeah.
And I think that stuff like this should be front and center if you are an investor with exposure in the market.
And we've been seeing, really strong readings from the new 52-week high list on the NYSE all year. And I think we even get higher than this. Like, I don't think this is the high water mark yet. But this is good. And it just speaks to the idea that this bull market is probably still closer to the middle stages or even early stages than it is the late stages.
Yeah. All right. Tell me what I need to know about this This thing that these guys do. I can't believe they're still doing this shit, but okay, we'll go with it.
So people are watching us instead of listening to the press conference right now. Let me just read some highlights. He came out talking about the economy strong right off the bat, went right to the strong economy. We're committed to maintaining that economic strength. Labor market is solid. Unemployment rate has edged down past 3 months, remains low. Wage growth has eased. Hiring would be somewhat higher if not for the storms and strikes. So they keep adjusting all this labor market data for some of the events over the past couple of weeks and months. Overall, inflation has moved much closer to the goal. Core inflation somewhat elevated.
Yeah, what I'm seeing is the labor market is not a source of inflation pressure. So he's basically saying that like labor market is hot, but it's not too hot. It's good.
Yeah, wage growth is not a problem. If economy remains strong, inflation not moving to 2% can dial back policy more slowly. Yeah. So really the big thing, Spencer, you have it thrown up here. What really changed was they omitted the reference shown right here in the second paragraph. They omitted the reference to having gained greater confidence in inflation moving back towards 2%, right? And that could have been, I was surprised by this. I'll tell you guys why in a second. That could have been something that spooked the market a bit and caused a little bit of a sell-off. But I feel like after everything that's happened and the inflation data that's been coming in, I feel like they had to remove that. And the market was probably expecting it, is what it looks like. Banks are trading at their lowest level of the day.
All right. And I don't mean to like break balls or whatever. Like, I'm just being real. Like, why should I care? Tell me. Somebody give me something that I could be like, oh, okay, that's interesting. This is not a complete waste of my time. Give me something.
What are you talking about?
Well, the first thing
I don't know what any of this stuff means to me. As like I'm an investor, trader, somebody looking for opportunities. Why should I care about any of this stuff? I just don't understand.
Well, really,
I'm not trying to be a dick about it. Like, I'm legitimately asking.
I'll tell you why.
No,
because stock prices move based on two things, which is earnings and interest rates. And these guys control one of those two things. So I would say half of the market is driven by earnings over the long run. The other half is driven by interest rate policy.
Do you care that the bond market is actually rallying on the interest rate drop, just on the further end of the curve, versus what's been happening where ever since they started lowering interest rates have gone straight up, which is, for someone like me who finds humor in things like that, like, that's hilarious. So does it mean anything to you that the long end of the curve, you're seeing the strength in bonds, on a rate cut, which in theory, right? So how do you feel about that?
You're saying the 30 years pulling back here?
On the yields, yeah. Like, they're lowering rates and rates are falling. Like,
I would say
across the curve.
If you look at a chart of any of these interest rates right now, I got the 10-year up. I mean, they've been overbought for like a month, more than a month.
I understand that, which is why I'm saying they've been rallying since they started lowering rates. Now they're lowering rates again, and rates are coming down, is my point.
Yeah.
That's probably what but stands out the most to me. And even with that, what am I even going to do with that information?
Yeah, no, for me, it's the types of stocks that you want to be in, right? There are stocks that do well when interest rates are high or rising, and there are other stocks that do well or do a lot better when interest rates are low or falling, right? So I've been big on this housing theme, and lower rates is very, very important to stocks like Rocket Mortgage, even Lowe's and Home Depot, the home builders. We were talking about Redfin. Zillow's up like 20% today. You guys see Zillow on this earnings report? It's up 24% right now. So the interest rate sensitive stocks, if you're in them, and especially if you're trading them, I think it's important to pay attention to.
How about copper coming all the way back, getting hammered yesterday, and today up 4.5%? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I like copper, but here's the thing about copper. We put on an FCX trade trying to position for the industrial metals theme ahead of the election, thinking, that exactly what happened would work in copper's favor, and that all the metals would be blasting off. We could have literally bought anything besides copper and absolutely nailed this trade. The copper stuff has really been lagging. We could have bought steel stock and aluminum stock. Even like you see Cliffs Natural Resources up like 25% yesterday. So the copper, like, to me, is actually the weakest link in the industrial metal space right now.
Let me tell you something, young blood. There was a time back in my day when Chinese stocks would go up. You understand? I know that you kids these days don't remember that far because you're all hung up on your video games and your meme coins. I know. But let me tell you something. Back in my day, there was a time Chinese stocks were all the rage. They would go up in price. It was crazy. And this it's been a minute, and I don't know. I see this. Spencer, can you throw up slide 9, please? I want to ask the chat. Come on, chat.
Is this
You
new
guys
slide
chime in
9 or
here.
old slide 9?
This is the old Economist magazine.
Okay.
Just coming out telling us that now is the time. Go to the next slide, Spencer. Now is the time that the U.S. is the envy of the world, and a U.S. outperformance is here to stay. It is going to continue this U.S. outperformance. Now, granted, this magazine cover is now coming over here on the upper right of this chart, not on the lower left. So as you can see here, the United States has been outperforming all these developed nations for the last 15 years, also emerging markets. Now that the Economist is telling me, oh, this is going to, we see this thing happening. It's definitely going to stay. So that leads me to believe that it's probably not going to stay. So throw up to China. We got the thrust of thrusts in China. Strazza is very thrusty these days. He's all in. He trusts the thrust, if you will. And that was the largest rate of change in the history of Chinese equities, which we've studied the data. That tends to happen early in cycles, not at the end. And I got to tell you, going into the Trump election, the markets were suggesting that Trump was going to win. So we kind of just assumed that, maybe not to the landslide that happened, but we assumed he was going to win. And everybody just assumed that Chinese equities were going to fall on that news because China's so bad for if Trump is president.
Yep.
I wanted to see the other side and say, if they start coming in and buying China after the Trump election, so am I. Here you go. China's up 5.5% right now on the FXI.
I love it. Yep. I don't think.
Pat, what up, son?
What up? What up? What up?
I don't
Who's
think
buying China? Who's buying it?
You buying China?
I'm buying fucking China. Hell yeah.
Hey, what does it mean? What does it mean that Jerome Powell is wearing a purple tie? Is that bullish?
That means you got to take the under on how long he's going to talk. That's the way it works. That's the correlation.
Right.
I think it's hard to have enough exposure to China right now.
Wow. Hard to have enough exposure.
I mean, this thing's just getting started here.
I think it's just getting started. Yep.
Right.
I really like this. We put on an options trade this week where we've got exposure. Cost us $3 to go out to January 2026. Dude, are you kidding me? What a great trade that is. Whether it works or not, I'd put it on 100 times out of 100 to put that trade on.
Yeah.
That trade makes a year easy. I mean, if it works, obviously. But what I'm saying is if it works, that trade's going to make a year.
I'm starting to like a lot of names in China.
You went all the way out to January 2026, huh?
Yeah, you got a problem with that?
No, I think I like it.
Patrick's like,
Tell him, Pat.
Wait, you doing it in FXI or what?
Yeah, try not to tell everybody about our trades. We'll talk offline. Right? Settle down there, Pat. You know, people pay us for this shit, right?
I know.
All right.
No, I think bottom line here is the muted reaction sort of speaks to like the regime that we're in, right? We've been in regimes previously where like market kind of does hang on every word that Jerome Powell is saying, and I'm not really doing that today, right? I mean, he's been talking for 15 minutes, and
I think that's a good take. Yeah.
Hold on. Dawson's got a good point. JC likes buying time. Great question or comment. I like buying time when time is cheap. Right?
Yeah.
Like if time is cheap, implied volatility is so cheap where they're giving that time away. Hell yeah, give it to me, baby. The fact that I could go out 15 months with exposure in Chinese equities for nothing, and I could sleep at night knowing I have enough exposure in China where if that trade works, it makes my year. It's a great feeling. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes, like if you want to buy time in some of these crypto miners, you're going to pay a lot of money for that time. In this particular case, you're not paying nothing. Take it.
Or like hymns. So I think also leaps they lend themselves to certain chart patterns, right? And this is a fresh primary trend reversal. We just had these major momentum thrusts, right? That suggest a brand new bull market is underway for China. That's the moment, those are the patterns where you want leaps for. You want to
Strazza, correct me if I'm wrong. This is right up your alley. Let's say you own you own China outright. You got the trade on. You're good. That doesn't mean that you can't trade around Alibaba and Tencent and do all these other things. In fact, I think there's going to be tremendous opportunities in these groups, whether you already have exposure or not.
Yeah, it's like an anchor position is the way.
An anchor position. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah. See, look at us, huh?
I like it.
This is called adding value, right?
I'm starting to make exceptions for my no China in the IRA already. Just trying to get ahead of this thing. By the time my IRA is
the fact that you even have a no China rule in your IRA is sentiment enough that this is some washed out shit. You got a rule, no China in your IRA. What kind of dumb shit is that?
Well, you lose money on Chinese stocks for 10 years. You start making rules about them.
Yeah, JC, let's not act like China has been great all along.
No, it hasn't. But you are like the Economist magazine.
Yeah, hardcore
rule
about it.
No Chinese stocks in my IRA. Are you kidding me? If that's not sentiment.
But no, we're making exceptions. We've been making exceptions for a while now. Been building positions like Baba, Tencent, the big names.
For you guys that have been, you guys who have been in the market for a few decades at least, can you chime in here? School this kid. Come on.
Okay, fine. But bottom line is recency bias is probably the hardest bias to overcome of all the biases.
Strong,
right?
Strong with this one. Very strong.
I'm okay, guys. Don't worry.
You'll be fine.
Doing well
You'll
with
be
my
fine.
China.
It really is funny, though. It really is funny.
Real fast, I just wanted to drop a link in the chat. We're doing a special stream tomorrow, not about China, I don't think. But you never know with this crowd. So yeah, I guess theoretically maybe. Tomorrow at noon Eastern, talking about crypto. Crypto, we are entering a new paradigm for crypto after the election. Live event tomorrow at noon. Link in the chat. Check it out. And
first of all, Spencer, I don't know who told you that, but we're not entering shit. We already entered the party.
I'm sorry. We have entered. Happening.
The new paradigm. I don't know what a paradigm is, but I like that word. It's a good word.
It's an SAT word.
Paradigm. What the fuck is a new paradigm? What even is that? I like it though, right? Doesn't it sound sexy? Paradigm.
Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative.
It's provocative, right? Exactly right. Speaking of provocative, can we go over a few of these guys? I mean, these things are on the move, guys. We've got Pepe. Pepe up 5% right now, pushing up against new highs here. FWOG continues to act well. New all-time highs from FWOG. As a reminder, guys, FWOG is Nicki Montana's new favorite name.
This is the state of the markets right here. This was supposed to be an FOMC live reaction, and now we're talking about meme stocks. That just goes to show, or meme coins. That just goes to show you how little this meeting and maybe subsequent meetings matter. They don't matter.
I don't know. The FWOG seems to really like this one. So my understanding from those in the know is that this FWOG, FWOG, is this is the next dog with hat. So for those of you who are familiar with the one dog with hat, the FWOG, my understanding, is supposed to be the next one of those, which is a sound fundamental thesis in the world of meme tokens. As we all know, Popcat was the next bonk. And as it turned out, it was in fact not only the next bonk, but actually exceeded bonk's market capitalization. So sound fundamental analysis there.
What's your favorite meme coin right now, JC? Is it Doge or is it something else?
FWOG. Didn't you just hear? It's the next dog with hat. Are you not listening?
But you like it more than Doge here? It's
different. Doge is the Doge. Doge is the blue chip, the bellwether of the meme coin universe. Right? So that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get on the next dog with hat.
FWOG. What's the market cap on this thing? What's the cap?
I mean, it's not for the faint of heart.
What's market cap?
Let's see where we're at.
450 million. You could do worse.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys, I like the Sheeb. The Shiba, it's knocking on that same level.
When you texted me the other day, I was buying some. Did you buy some Sheeb?
I got some Sheeb, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. This is what Spencer's always aspired to, is a live stream talking about meme tokens. Right, Spencer? Is this all your dreams come true?
No. This has been like a, they always say this is the most important election of our lives. This is the most important Fed meeting of our lives. This is definitely not the most important Fed meeting of our lives. This is like the least important Fed meeting of our lives.
Does that
I
feel like
frustrate
you're
you?
like
Do you wish it was
disappointed.
more important?
We've learned
Spencer likes
nothing.
when it comes with volatility.
I like action. Yes, I like seeing how the market reacts. But then again, the lack of reaction is a reaction. It tells me that we don't need to care about this right now. So I
Well
won't.
said.
This is a new all-time high for the IBIT. So IBIT is the Bitcoin ETF.
BlackRock is like a top 5 holder of Bitcoin now.
You know,
I'm a
somebody asked a good
custodian,
question.
Dick. Right, like from Half Baked.
I'll give you guys one.
You know what I'm talking about, Spencer, right?
I do, sadly.
If we're all
It
talking
went right
about,
over their head. They don't know. Strazza, when was the last time you watched Half Baked, Strazza?
Custodian.
it hasn't been that long, probably. It's one of those movies that, like, when it's on TV late at night, like, and I'm flipping, like, I'm watching it.
You
know?
gotta stop. Yeah.
That's like, that's a stop and watch. The half
Yeah, this FWOG looks good. I mean, listen, we're seeing breadth expansion in the crypto.
Yeah, we
crypto
are.
in general.
Yeah, we are.
And then just kind of checking in on the market here. Dow futures are flat, but the Nasdaq 100 futures up 1.5%.
You know what's
Wow.
you know, we all know that Bitcoin does well after the elections, but did you know it's never retested its like pre-election price right after the election? So it basically you don't want to see the train back up to let the latecomers on.
Oh, I see gap and more gap and go-ish.
More, yeah.
Pat, can I make a submission for the chart report today?
Absolutely.
Am I showing the right screen? I don't even know. Yeah, okay. The last 2 times that the Federal Reserve cut on a Thursday, the S&P was up 19% and 21% in the next 12 months.
He's hilarious. He's just having fun.
He's having fun, yeah. As he should.
He's just saying. He's just saying. More often than not, 12 months later, the market is higher.
So let me ask you this: how would you answer this? I saw a question today. Someone was like, if MSTR, if MicroStrategy is just holding Bitcoin, shouldn't it trade just, same percentage wise as Bitcoin? Why is it why is it up more on days when Bitcoin's up, let's say 5%? Why is it up more than that?
Which one?
MicroStrategy.
Good question.
Oh, because I mean it's a levered play.
MicroStrategy is just not what you want anymore.
MicroStrategy's trades at last I checked like a 2.5 times multiple. I mean, you guys do the math. See how much Bitcoin they have, and then see what their market cap is, and their business is worth like 100 or 200 million at best.
It's not cheap based on historical standards. The way that it trades in relation to its Bitcoin holdings is as expensive as it gets. So, which makes sense. It's a bull market, right? We expect that premium, but this isn't like a place where I'd want to buy it. Dude, it's Coinbase all day. Like, who wins more from a bull market for the alts? It's Coinbase. The business has such a high degree of operating leverage. The way that they make money on just transaction fees during bull markets is absurd. But they need the altcoins to work. And if we go back to an environment like 2020, 2021, where the altcoins were just all the craze, Coinbase's earnings power is just off the charts. Stocks can be trading to and through its old all-time highs in the 400s.
Pat, I'll answer your question just by saying, because MicroStrategy is all the risks of Bitcoin plus all the risk of a public company, right? So it's just
that's true.
Double-sided.
Public company's a strong word there.
No, they have audited financial statements. So
really, it looks like the reaction, you're just not going to get much. Is the press conference over?
Is it over? Yeah, it should be by now.
I got a chart for you.
Or almost over. I think we're almost over it too, honestly.
Strazza, you ready for this?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if you can handle this much.
I can handle it.
I don't know if you can handle it. It's pretty hot, dude. I think you're gonna like it too much, and I'm not gonna make you that happy. You know that? I think you're really gonna like this one, Strazza. So here's one for you.
Your charts do that to me sometimes.
Give it to him. Give it to him, Spencer.
Yeah, dude, it's over. I'm sorry. Like this is nothing, but I'm so with it. Coinbase all day.
I figured you'd like that. No. So
Yeah.
why don't you walk the folks through what's happening here?
And here, I'll give you another one. I'll give you one more. You know my wild card favorite crypto equity vehicle that I've been in since this time last year now. So I've been patient, but I'm already up like 60%. Galaxy Digital. Give me some BRPHF for my US investors. That's the dark horse. Look out. Look out for Galaxy.
Oh.
What, a cool 15% here today? Confirming this textbook trend reversal.
So not to get all fundamental or anything, but like, you know, this Trump thing with crypto, you know, remember it was all a grift, like people are, you know, bowing to the man or whatever. And like, as it turns out, that was kind of pretty accurate or what?
100%. And I think here's my buddy texted me because he hears us talking about Coinbase on here all the time. And he said, what's the deal? And I tried to put it in the simplest terms, one little text message. Why are we bullish Coinbase? If you believe that crypto is here to stay, right? Crypto as an asset class is going nowhere, not just Bitcoin, but Bitcoin and friends. Coinbase is the industry leader in the United States where most crypto things are happening, right? Coinbase dominates. And now we finally have a government that is looking to regulate the space. And guess who is going to help lead that regulation and all of the regulatory efforts? Brian Armstrong.
Stop breaking balls and giving them Wells notices to all these people and spending all this money on litigation and let them work. Brian
Armstrong is going to be in the room, right? So if you think that's not going to be good for Coinbase, this man is about to help craft the legislation.
Because why? So excuse my ignorance. Why? Because Trump knows nothing about any of this stuff, but he's got the guys who do know. So he's like, yo, Elon, whatever you do. Who do we get? They're going to be like, well, obviously Brian Armstrong, duh. So Armstrong says, okay, right? Is it like that?
Armstrong has positioned himself as the guy, right? Like the consummate professional that you want to talk to about stuff like this. He's dealt with shit for the past 4 years. It's been absolutely crazy. And if you pay attention, go look on the Coinbase app. Go look at Brian Armstrong's Twitter. He's been campaigning just as hard as Elon out here. I could click a button from my Coinbase app and donate to the Republicans.
Yeah, because he knows exactly, right? So if Trump wins, all these guys are in there. He's good to go. He doesn't have to get sued every 2 seconds, and he can actually help the industry also all at the same time.
100%. Yeah. Right. And that's always how you do it. You go to the private sector and you find the experts, the guys who built the things, and then you say, help us regulate these things.
And let me ask you this. Then what were the liberals so angry about with crypto? What was their problem with it?
They don't like most cool things.
They don't like what things?
Most cool things.
The most cool things? No, that can't be it. There's got to be like a real reason.
Why hate crypto?
No.
Liberal,
I don't know. That's not a reason. Oh, I like it's cool, so I'm not going to like it. No, that's not a reason.
To hate things. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think about it.
Spencer, what was the beef that they had?
I don't know if you can broadly paint like the entire like liberal side of the government as being anti-crypto. Just like you can't paint the entire
that way though.
Just like you can't put the entire conservative side as being pro-crypto. I mean, there's nuance there.
But the vice president being long crypto probably doesn't hurt.
Definitely not. Definitely does not hurt, right? But I think they would rather be like overly restrictive and have a repeat of 2022 where the largest exchange blows up and people lose their money. And
like imagine if the government after Lehman Bros blew up was like, hey, no more stock market allowed. You're right. Yeah.
Right.
Dude, did you see that France is going to shut down Polymarket because the French guy made all that loot? Dude, what kind? Dude, you suck, France.
But you're right, JC. It's kept going on. You mentioned on the morning show this morning that quite the victory lap for Polymarket. This guy's on TV all day and he's loving it.
Dude, good for him. Good for him. I was honestly, like, selfishly, I was rooting for him because I like reliable data, obviously. Yeah. So I was rooting for this to be successful. So, like, good for him, dude.
You know what? Shout out Polymarket. I don't think we'll ever hear about polls again. Maybe they just completely go away. I don't know. Somebody called.
Thank God. No, you know what this is called? This is called progress. You see how we don't have to ask people. We don't have to, first of all, pay people to go ask people. Like, we could just let.
No, the guy on Polymarket used polls for his bet. That's how he knew.
Yeah, great. Polls were one data point. That's like using seasonality to make your decisions. Trust me, there's more information there, bro.
One data point. And you know what? The big point he's been making in all of his interviews, I've been trying to listen to some of them, is how could you ever go back, right? Because if you looked at poly market at, I think he said like 7:30, 8 o'clock, it was like high 90%, 90 something, 99% chance eventually that it was Trump around like 8 o'clock. And if you tuned in to any of the major networks, they were making it sound like it was neck and neck. Like we have no idea. The betting markets were done. Miami-Dade went red and the betting markets were like, see ya. And then you turn on cable news and they're like, oh, we don't know who's going to win till tomorrow.
Yeah, well,
They knew. They're just lying to people.
They were stringing people along.
They're stringing people along because think about it. They tell people it's over. They're going to go to bed like normal people. But no, oh my God, it's anybody's race. You have to stay up
also,
all night.
they want to be
crazy
sure. They want to be sure, right? That's the thing.
I don't think that's it.
I'm sure it's that, and not that.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
All right, I think we're done here, guys. I think we're done.
Were you a journalism major? Seriously?
What?
Were you a journalism major?
Yeah, and I just dropped a lesson in Slack that Steve and Sean could have used, and Izzy could have used in San Diego.
Oh,
when interviewing someone on camera, always get them to spell their name.
Can you last chart? Ready?
It's some wisdom for y'all.
The Dow in the green, 1.6% on the Nasdaq 100 here. Man, S&P's up 80 bips. Here we're looking on an equally weighted basis, consumer discretionary relative to consumer staples, breaking out of close to a 20-year base. This is not the Amazon effect or Tesla or Home Depot or any of that market cap stuff. This is on an equally weighted basis.
Can I interrupt you? The press conference is still going. So someone asked Jerome Powell if he would resign if President Trump asked him to, and he said no.
Ooh.
Trump said he's cool to stay on until May of 2026. So that's
Trump did say that. Yes.
So
you interrupted this chart here for that shit.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Spencer,
Come on.
This is arguably the chart of the month. No?
Okay. That's what I was about to say. And I mean this, and I don't say this lightly. I have a short list of the most important charts that I'm watching right now, like Dollar's one of them. This is up. This is top 5, probably top 3. This, to me, valid breakout means it's go time, green light, bull market on, new leg higher. Like, we're going to have a beautiful Q4 rally. It's going to be a Christmas for the cryptos. I'm so excited.
Christmas for the cryptos.
We're here talking about a multi-decade breakout in consumer discretionary versus consumer staples. I got this guy telling me about this Tyrone Powell guy and whether he's going to stay in his job. I don't give a shit about this guy's employment situation.
Steve, did you just come up with that? Steve, did you just come up with Christmas for the cryptos just now?
I mean, we come up with a lot of clever jingles, like for post titles.
Christmas for the cryptos.
Yeah, it's
like
I think that has to be a thing.
I probably wrote a post last year called Crypto Christmas, and I'll probably write one again this year called Crypto Christmas.
It's good alliteration right there. Crypto Christmas.
Like today we did a Trump trade, Trump fade.
Yeah.
That's a rhyme. So that's a rhyme. Like that works too.
My favorite is new highs in July, or new highs for 4th of July.
New high in July. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. We'll be back tomorrow morning, right here on the channel. And
that's a good one.
Smash the like, please. Thank you. Subscribe.
Dude, this volatility is collapsing.
Pow, pow.